Let's take the topic of parameterized constructors from the lesson Constructors and Destructors. Now I'll try to explain what parameterized constructors are. Let's look at a small example here. Supposing I have a class called student, and here we have int roll number and marks, and we are going to make a constructor here. This is a constructor, and here I write roll number is equal to 10 and marks is equal to 90, and I close the class over here. Now here we have made a constructor, but this constructor is not taking any parameters. Now I'm going to write the same class student again, but now here we are going to make a constructor which is going to accept parameters. Now look at this. This is the constructor here, student, and here I say int a comma int b, like this. So this constructor is accepting two integer parameters, whereas this one which I have written over here, this is not accepting any parameters, right? Now inside this constructor I'm going to write roll number is equal to a and marks is equal to b, right? So whatever parameters are passed into this constructor, those parameters, that is a and b, are assigned to roll number and marks. Fine. So we can write constructors with any number of parameters. Supposing I want to write something like this, student, and I write here just int a. This is also a valid constructor. Now here I say roll number is equal to 9. This value I am passing directly, and here we say marks is equal to a. So whatever is coming from this parameter a, that is passed to the variable marks, and roll number I am initializing as 9. So this again is a parameterized constructor. So here these are the two constructors. This is accepting two parameters, and this is also a constructor which is accepting one parameter. So we can make constructors in any number of ways, like we can give any number of parameters inside the constructor. One is this way with no parameters at all, and one is by giving one parameter, two parameter, or if the situation demands then more than two parameters also, right? Now we'll take this concept of parameterized constructor further. Let's look at the concept of constructor overloading. Now what I said here, that we can make constructors with different number of parameters. Now that parameterized constructor is actually implemented in this constructor overloading. Constructor overloading is very much similar to function overloading. The basic concept of function overloading was the same function had different parameters, right? So here again we have the same thing. Now we'll take a small example to show what constructor overloading is. I'm going to take a class called box. Now inside this I'm going to have int length, comma breadth and height, like this. Okay. Now the public section. Now in this, the first constructor I make is this, and here I write length is equal to 10, breadth is equal to 5, and height is equal to 7. Now this is one constructor I make. Now I am going to make one more constructor. One more constructor means the constructor will be the same name, that is box, because whenever you make a constructor, the constructor has to be as the same name as your class name. Now the difference between the first and the second constructor is, now here I am going to pass a variable parameter inside this constructor. Now here I have written box int L, so I will be writing something like this: length is equal to L, okay, breadth is equal to 10, and height is equal to 6. Now let's write one more constructor in which I say int L comma int B, like this. Now here I say length is equal to L, breadth is equal to B, and height is I give as 6 again. Box again, and here I write int L comma int B comma int H, and inside this I write length is equal to L, breadth is equal to B, and height is equal to H. Okay, and I am not going to write any functions as of now, because we are just going to show how the concept of constructor overloading is going to work here, right? So after this I finish the class, close the class, right? Now look at this. This is box here, this is also box, this is also box, and here again I have put box. So I have made the constructor 4 times, but each constructor is different, because the first one has got no parameters, the second one has got 1 parameter, the third one has got 2 parameters, the fourth one has got 3 parameters. So here I have done constructor overloading, because each constructor has a different set of parameters, they are different. Okay, now let's look at how to invoke these constructors. Now I am going to make the main method. Now inside the main method I will be making objects of the box class. Supposing I write box B1, and then I write box B1, and within bracket I write 10, and one more, sorry, B2 it will be here. Okay, I will put the second one, box B2, and within this 10, and I am going to make one more constructor, box B3, here I write 10 comma 11, and one more object, box B4, and here I write 5 comma 6 comma 8, like this, and then return, and then the class is closed. Okay, now let's try to understand how these constructors are invoked. Now first of all, this is box B1 here. Now this B1, after this B1 there are no parameters given, so this is the first one which is going to invoke this constructor, right? Now I am saying box B2 within bracket 10, so it has got one integer parameter, so it will look for that constructor which has got one integer parameter, and this is it. So here L will become equal to 10, so when I say length is equal to L, this length will become equal to 10, right, and breadth will be 10 and height is equal to 6. Now again I am making one more object, box B3, 10, 11. Now this will take me to this constructor, because here I am putting two integer parameters, right. So L will become 10, B will become 11, and this constructor is invoked. Now when I say box B4, 5, 6, 8, these are three parameters, and for this constructor will be called, which is int L, B, H, and length will be assigned the value of L, breadth will be assigned the value of B, and height will be assigned the value of H. So this is how the concept of constructor overloading works, right. So basically you should understand like what is the different ways in which the objects can be formed, objects should be formed, and depending on that we should give different constructors so that the programmer can make objects in various ways, right, by passing one variable, by passing two parameters, by passing three parameters, or by passing no parameters at all. So this is called constructor overloading, and for constructor overloading you have to first of all understand the concept of parameterized constructors and implement that in constructor overloading. So with that I come to the end of this topic on constructor overloading. Thank you.